Hey happy people. So today we are going to be making a yogurt like curd to use in recipes that we cook with. Usually your coconut yogurt is fine for when you're eating it with fruit or your homemade granola or something like that. But coconut in this household we don't heat, so I cannot use it in recipes that calls for yogurt, especially like a marinade or something like that. So I'm going to make a yogurt that I can use in cooking. We have here 1/2 cup of chickpeas that I have soaked for about 12 hours. Raw chickpeas soaked for about 12 hours. Chickpeas, to me, you can substitute for soybean can be substituted. What am I trying to say? You can use chickpeas in place of soybeans. This is what I have come to understand. Like everything that calls for soy, you can basically use a chickpea to replace that in any number of type of dishes and way of making things. So chickpeas is very versatile. You should keep a whole bunch of these in your house, especially the dried version. It's pretty cheap to buy them in bulk, so always buy them in bulk. And you always have some chickpeas. I always got some soaking in the refrigerator or something. But 1/2 cup of raw chickpeas that has been soaked for 12 hours. I have 2 tablespoons of sea moss gel here. We're going to put everything in this blender and just blend it up. I have 2 cups of water. I'm going to only go with a 1/2 cup first. Half of it first, about a cup, and blend, and then I'll put the rest. Now we're just going to blend this down. You want to get your chickpeas as ground down as much as you can. They're not going to all ground down completely, but grind down as much as you can. Here. Alright, add our other cup of water here. And that should be good enough. Now, I'm going to take this because we got to move on to stage 2. I have a pot here and I have a strainer and some cheesecloth. Kind of doing both because my cheesecloth is kind of cheap. Like cheap. I bought it from the 99-cent store. But we're going to work with it. You guys see that? See that? And we can move this now over here because we're going to need our heat here. Go ahead and turn that on, let it get warmed up there. But basically, going to strain this, get out all the pulp. Alright, I think I done got all I can get out of that. So, now, just going to add this to the heat. And we are just going to, this is going to be on just a medium heat here. And we're just going to stir this around. And you just want to cook it down till it starts to thicken. Kind of evaporate some of the liquid out of there. But basically you're looking for it to start thickening like yogurt. And while that's doing that, I'm going to try to do a little, clean up some of this mess. Oh, for your pulp that's left over, you can easily just store this in a airtight container, put it in your refrigerator, and you can use this to thicken your soups and stews, anything like that. Make sure you put it in the beginning because this is raw, so you need time for it to cook just like everything else. Do not put it in the end thinking it'll thicken it up and still be taste great, because this is raw. Like literally, you can smell the rawness in it. It is still raw, so it definitely needs to be cooked from the beginning to the end of whatever dish you are making. Also, I had a question. Somebody asked me, what do I do with all the soaking water from your chickpeas and your wild rice and things like that? Easy. You can put it in your plants. You can put it on your face. You can put it on your body. It has plenty of nutrients in it, so you can put it on in your hair, things like that. Soak your nails in it. Anything like that, anything that you can put in your body, you should be able to put on your body, and reverse anything you put on your body, you should actually be able to eat, like literally eat it. So never throw anything away. Like I say, try not to waste anything. You want to get the most bang for your buck out of the product that you buy, because a lot of sentiment in the alkaline community, especially if you like to eat like me, indulge, and you like all these delicious and decadent and type of meals, then you spend quite a bit of money on the different things that you buy. So you definitely want to get the best bang for your buck. You don't want to be throwing anything away. So any of your pulp, if it's like nuts and stuff like that, you can easily make them into cookies and things like that. I'm a dehydrator type of person, because my freezer is always full of something, cooked chickpeas already or something like that. So I'm going to put this on the dehydrator and make it a powder. And basically I'll make it a powder. If I can get it fine enough to be like flour, then I will use it as flour. But if not, it'll just be a powder that I can add to anything else, just like I say, as a thickener, and keep it on the shelf. So that is that. And we have started to bubble over here. Now it's starting to turn into a curd. As you can see, it's starting to have little bits in here. Now, if you are needing to use just a curd, I would say stop right here. This is not that. This is where you want to be with a curd, where you have like the little chunks in there. But I personally want this to be like a yogurt, so I'm going to go get a whisk so I can whisk this right quick and clean some of this up. I'll be right back. Make a mess, make a mess. Alright, just stir it around. I'm going to turn my heat down to simmer here. Well, warm, should I say. Y'all see that? It's starting to thicken up. It is not too runny. Alright, so I'm going to let it go for about another minute here, and then I'll come back. Alright, so it's been about a minute and a half here. As you can see, it's all nice and smooth there. So I'm just going to turn the heat all the way off. And we're going to just put this in a bowl to put in the refrigerator. Make sure your chickpeas are cooked all the way through. Remember, I said chickpeas have a very raw taste. So if you do not cook them all the way through, you will taste it in your food. I'm just going to let that continue there with the residual heat to make sure my chickpeas are cooked. Keep stirring it around because I don't want it to stick to the bottom or start curding up again. And give it just a little taste here. Do not taste the chickpea. Very bland. Alright, so I think that is good enough. I'm just going to put this in a bowl now. That right on the money. Just about. I'm going to stop right there. Okay. Alright, you guys see that? It's pretty thick. You don't like the little lumps in there, you can always smooth it out in the blender again. Me, not a problem. I'm just using this in cooking, so it's not going to be any kind of presentation. Alright, so now that we have this all done, we're just going to put this in the refrigerator for probably a couple of hours. You don't need to put it in there that much, but that long. But I gotta go to work, so I really made this morning so I could have it to use later on this evening. That brings me to a point here of, when you make this yogurt, this is not something you want to make a large quantity of. You just want to make enough for whatever your recipes you are using. I would say 2 days in your refrigerator, 3 days max. That would be pushing it. You want to use this freshly. Like, don't. You could actually use this right now, like you see, as it's pretty thick. I would just say as a curd, but if you want it to be like a yogurt-like consistency, you do have to put it in the refrigerator and allow it to thicken up a little bit. But solidify a little bit there, so it'll actually hold on to your spoon. If you are alkaline, following the Dr. Sebi's way of lifestyle, looking at the nutritional list, you do not want it to ferment, and it will ferment. That's the one thing about soybeans and chickpeas. They use them to ferment stuff. So, like I said, use it same day, the next day if possible. Like, make ahead and use it the next day, or like I say, 2 days, 3 days max is pushing it. But you don't want it to ferment, so don't let it sit in the back of your refrigerator and then try to use it like a week or two later. This is not something you want to keep 2-3 weeks at a time. You don't want it to ferment because you don't want the acidity if you are following the nutritional guide. So, like I say, I will be using this evening when I get off work, so we're looking at about 8-9 hours before I get to it. But because I have 2 recipes that I want to use this in, this is why I made just the half there, because I need about half of this for one recipe and about half for the other, and then the rest will go in a smoothie or something real fast. Nah, not a smoothie. I'm lying. Hopefully I use it all in both recipes. I haven't really looked at all the measurements, but I knew that this should probably be enough. If not, I'll just make a little bit more, but this should be enough. Like I say, don't double this recipe. Don't try to make bulk of it and have it stored in the refrigerator for a very long time. You want this to be as fresh as possible. You do not want it to start fermenting if you are following the Dr. Sebi nutritional guide. For this is very bland. So if you plan to use this, like for some reason you don't like the coconut yogurt, like I like coconut yogurt, it's just something that I can't use with cooking. So eating fruit, eating homemade granola, stuff like that, no problem. I use coconut yogurt. But to cook with, I'm using this. So this is very bland. There is no seasonings in this, just sea moss and chickpeas. So if you plan to use this as something you're just going to eat right out of the spoon or with your fruit or something, you're definitely going to need to add something to it, like some sea salt, some agave, some dates, some fruit, anything like that, to some herbs if you want it to be more savory like, before you just eat it like this. And if you're going to eat it like this, I suggest cooking it just a little bit longer on the eye to make sure you fully get out all the rawness of it. Like for me, this is just bland, so I can use it for what I need to do in the next couple of recipes. One of them is just really the yogurt for helping to make something soft, and the other one is to marinate. So I don't really need it to be flavorful. I just need it for other purposes. But if you are wanting it to eat, then again I say you need to add something to this, because you're not going to eat it by itself, not unless you just a straight up G. You don't got no taste buds. You just, I'm doing this. But add something to it. So I'm going to put this in the refrigerator when I come home, I'll try to take pictures of what it looks like afterwards, so you guys can see that at the end of this video. And I'll take a picture now showing you, but you pretty much can see it is not holding onto the spoon, but it is thick. So I'll take pictures when I get ready to make my other recipe. And that is enough. I'm just rambling on. So subscribe if you are not a subscriber and you would like to see how I substitute things in the alkaline world, see all these nice dishes that we make here. Hit the notification bell so you'll be the first to see them. Give me a like so that way my videos can get shared. YouTube can do whatever they do, some kind of algorithm thing, I don't know. Share my videos so other people can see it, your friends, family, and co-workers and things like that, and associates, and they can see how easy it is to actually make alkaline, not only vegan, but alkaline meals. Keep you fed, you ain't gonna starve to death, and it'll taste great. So that is it, and until the next video, guys. Did I say guys? That is it. Until the next video, y'all stay happy.
Uh-huh.